Hey everybody, and in my searches through my algorithm, YouTube, and kind of what does well and what doesn't well, what seems to have been working the best have been my tool reviews. And as you can kind of tell, I've got a number of different tools that I've had to purchase for my woodworking venture and kind of reviewed a few here and there. Most of them done pretty well, except for one that we don't really like to talk about. So today, I've got a surprise for you, the Jackhawk 9000. Just kidding. If you get that movie reference, we can be friends. But in reality, what I have today for you is this. I have the Makita 36 volt leaf blower, and I've got a significant amount of property, a very large driveway. I've got a very large shop here, which is 30 by 40. And this thing has come in quite handy. And let's go through some of the things that are good about it, some of the things that are not so good about it. I've got a set of fresh batteries on here, sitting back on the charger that we can use. So, I got a couple in here right now. So let's talk about a couple of things that are good about it, some that are not so good about it, and then you can make up your mind of whether you think this is something that is useful for you. So I am using this both inside and outside. This claims to run for 28 minutes on the medium setting. It's got 6 settings. And also it claims 120 miles an hour coming out of the business end out here. I don't really have a great way of testing that, so unfortunately you have to kind of take my word for it. But for the most part, it does pretty well all right. So it's, again, says it'll take 28 minutes. I'll test that with a fresh set of batteries, and then, again, make up your mind. All right, so this is technically the Makita XBU02PT1, and at current, it sits on Amazon if you get a kit with 4 batteries, which I highly recommend, and you'll see why here in a second. Sits at right at $329, and if you get the tool only, you're looking at $219 for this. Now there are 2 versions of this. There's a smaller one, which is an 18 volt, and then this is the bigger one with the 36 volt 2 battery setup. So a couple of the things that it does have, it does say that it is low decibel. Right here, it'll tell you that it does 61 decibels. We're going to measure that. You know, I've got a rudimentary way of testing that with my phone, so it'll get at least close, but that's at 50 feet. We're going to test this up close because most guys are going to be using this, you know, right next to your body when you're using it. One of the things it does have also is a battery checker to see if your batteries are full. And again, that is one of the drawbacks to this. This does suck batteries pretty hard. So it does have 6 settings up here. That is, it's kind of a clickable. You can kind of feel the indent go as you kind of click forward. It also does have a lock, so when you depress the lever here, it'll lock for you, so you can just kind of, you don't have to hold the trigger down. The trigger is a kind of a potentiometer type switch, so you can do a little bit or a lot. Okay, and yeah, it claims it'll do 120 miles an hour out the business end. There's a couple of features here. You can take it apart into kind of mini mode there and run around the shop with it if you need to get in there. But also, I do believe this piece here allows it, you know, get a little bit more velocity out there and a little bit of a longer reach. So let's go ahead and test decibels up close to where you're normally going to see it. Okay, again, so kind of a rough, it's not perfect decibel meter, but we'll put it up close. And normal conversation seems to be, you know, 80, 89, kind of highish decibels. So let's go ahead and turn it on and see what she does. All right, wasn't too bad. Actually, less decibels than me talking. The noise does get a little repetitive after a while, but right around 80 to 81 decibels up close to the unit itself. All right, next test. Let's go ahead and see how long it lasts on max power, because the rating for this says that it's on 3, so medium speed. It will do 28 minutes. That's what it claims, but I don't know anybody and their brother who's running this on minimum speed. So let's go ahead and crank this all the way up to 6. I now have, let's see, I have two full batteries that just came off the charger. Let's go ahead and plug those in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to time it to see how long this will last at full power, because that's usually how you're normally going to be using this anyway. So we'll go ahead and start the timer now. All right, right at, I caught it like, stepped away for a second, but right at about 8 minutes, 10 seconds will last you 2 full batteries. And you can see if I zoom in here, you've got a little, one of them blinking lights, which means that she's done. She's chooched all she can chotch, and that is it. That's all she could do. So 8 minutes, 10 seconds, full blast. That's what you get for 2 batteries. All right, let's talk about a couple of the positives and negatives. I've got 2 fresh batteries in here. If you can get the one that comes with 4 batteries, I highly recommend it. These are the 5 amp hour batteries that I was testing on. So you do need 2 batteries. It will not work with 1, and you do need multiples, because if you're doing, you know, a fairly sizable thing, are you going to be running it full 8 minutes? Probably not. I run it kind of off and on with every, 30-second burst or something like that. So it probably lasts me a little bit longer, maybe 20 minutes, but I am constantly coming into the shop to get new batteries. And I've got, a 4 charger kind of always going at the same time. So 6 really seems to be the minimum where you can cycle them, rapidly charge them, grab the fresh 2, let the other 2 charge, and then come back, and then you kind of, recycle it over and over again. So that is kind of one of the negatives if you do go through batteries quite a bit. The positive of that is it's no gas. You don't have anything on your back. It's probably not going to be as powerful as a gas-powered one, but for most jobs, for most people, this is going to do the job. So no motors to fiddle with, no backpacks to run. You don't have to run hearing protection if you don't want to. 80 decibels, that's conversation load, but I still do it anyway because that droning, noise tends to get a little boring after a while, so I, have my 3M earmuffs on, listening to it all the time. So in the back is, there we go. In the back is the intake. So this will suck up to your pants or your shirt or whatever you've got in front of you. The air coming out of there is, I don't know if you could see it in there, but it was actually moving this across the table. So air coming out of this is pretty good. So positives, it's relatively quiet, no gas needed, no small motors you need to worry about. Negatives, it eats through batteries like crazy. So if you have the opportunity to get the 4 battery combo, every once in a while they'll have a sale where they'll throw in 4 batteries in that 2 power charger. I highly recommend getting 2 of those double chargers if you're going to run this continuously for any length of time. But usually that 2-1 should suffice. It's not great, but it'll be pretty much okay. You do have the ability to make this shorter and longer. I use this primarily in my shop and also on my driveway and the small yard that I have. Most of my property is woods, so I have a small little grassy area where the kids play, so I blow that off with leaves. Leaves are no issue whatsoever, but kind of, my kind of thing is I'm trying to get away from gas motors, trying to get away from fiddling with those stupid things, bad gas and oil mixtures and having a million different gas cans and everything. So I'm trying to get away from that, and that's why you'll see me have a lot of electric tools like the Makita chainsaw that I reviewed a while ago when I got it, and then also a couple of the other non-air powered tools that I have, like I have the big impact gun too, so which has been very handy because it's mobile. So yeah, no backpacks, probably not as powerful, but probably will do the job. So let's go out and give her a test and see how she do. All right, so there you have it. So now you can kind of decide whether it's for you or not. One thing that I did notice while I was out there, this weighs about, for me it's about, I thought it was about 10 pounds. I looked it up, it's actually 8.5 pounds. So, you're using that for half hour, 40 minutes, you gotta switch arms or something. It does get a little tiring after a while. The nice thing about the gas-powered ones is at least the backpack ones, you can, put it on strap it on your back so it doesn't weigh down so much. This does have a provision, but does not come with a way to strap it, against your shoulder to take some of the weight off. So it doesn't come with one, so you can if you want to. I'd recommend it if you're using it for any more than 20 or 30 minutes. As you can kind of tell, the dog got in there too and had a bit of a good time. He likes running around and chasing the leaves. So to be fair, the leaves were fairly wet today, but yeah, I use this in the shop too, and I'll hopefully I can throw that video in there too. If I did, great, good for me. If not, check out my last video when I talked about some of the things that I learned recently. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and now you can make your decision. I'll put a link in the below for the product I'm using, and I'm not sponsored in any way by them, but Makita makes generally good stuff for the most part. So anyway, thanks a lot. See you.